Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope we're doing very, very well. Now, it's only the start of the year. We've still got pandemics going on like crazy. There's vaccines here, there and everywhere. There's lots of stuff going on. And most cinemas are closed. And so many films have been delayed. We know, and we lament. But already, I've noticed there's a lot of people talking about the Halloween franchise. Yes, I'm back on that old chestnut. Here he is, old Mikey boy. You know him, you love him. And they're saying, well, obviously you've got Halloween 2018 came out in 2018, and a great success it was too, launching a new trilogy. I mean, they'd always hoped it was going to do well, but it wasn't planned as a trilogy. Don't go thinking that. It's only because of the success of that first film. Oh, well, we'll do the next two back to back. Didn't happen. They made Halloween Kills, the second instalment, and it was test screened way back in 2019. Yes. It's a great rip-roaring success. It brought the house down. I've discussed it quite a lot. And that was due out Halloween last year. Things happened, and it didn't come out. So it's now going to come out this year. Come hell or high water, it's coming out this year. Blumhouse, David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, everybody involved in the movie has said, doesn't matter what happens, whether cinema's open or not, we're going to release this movie. It's just going to go streaming if it can't get to cinemas. So it's coming out. Great, can't wait for it. I genuinely can't. I know I've got a lot of problems with the 2018 version from a fundamental level as well. Not just the way that David Gordon Green cack-handedly delivered the suspense and thrill scenes. But I do like the film. I just don't think it's as good as many people really, really make out. And it does commit some really, really incredibly naff sins. I've discussed all that. And it's all happening anyway, so it doesn't matter. But Halloween Kills is meant to be an absolute balls-out slaughterfest. Excellent. And then it's going to end next year with Halloween Ends. So, but people are already saying, where do we go to after that? Why have you got to go anywhere? What? You know, Michael Myers, the whole Michael Myers franchise, which it never was meant to be a franchise, began in 1978, and we're now in 2021, and it's still going on. He's still doing the only thing he can do, which is stalk and slash. So you've had a reboot with Rob Zombie. You've had numerous sequels to the original franchise. You've had the Thorn, devilish, druidic cult bringing him back to life and following him all the time. You've had all that. You've got this, which is, and this is meant to be, well, the realistic interpretation, because he's not supernatural. Don't let me start banging this drum again. Like, if you even forget all the other movies from 1978 up until 2018, then he's been shot 6 times off a balcony, a back-breaking fall off a balcony. Then he's been arrested, put in an insane asylum again. Then he's broke free. He's been shot, he's been stabbed, he's been run over, he's been set on fire. He's had his fingers blown off on one hand. He's had half his cheek blown away. He's meant to be 61 years old, you know, but he's not supernatural. Bollocks! Stop doing this. Stop doing this. The guy can't be killed. We know this. If that was the case, if he could be killed, it'd be game over already. He's just normal, but there's a little something about it. I fucking hate people saying this. And there's plenty of people on YouTube and plenty of fans and critics who say this, but there's something extra about him. Yes, it's called the supernatural. It's the bogeyman. He can't fucking die. Unbelievable. Stop doing this. Stop being in denial about it. It's like The Walking Dead. Well, we're never going to call them zombies. No. And that's what they are. They're zombies. Oh, God. Stop doing this to yourselves. Stop giving this pretense and this kind of justification that no, we're not telling a hokey supernatural story. This is grounded in reality. We've got PTSD and stuff in here. Anyway. I've been down this road a few times. You know. And I still love it. And I still can't wait for it. But there you go. So after this, obviously the big kill crazy rampage of Halloween Kills, then we have been told that it's all going to end on a far more personal level. I think it's pretty much personal already, isn't it? It's been personal since 1978 in this timeline franchise here. She's been waiting for him, Laurie Strode. Because she knew he'd get back out again. And he'd come for her, even though he doesn't actually know who she is. And Halloween 2018, he only ends up at her house kind of by accident, really. He doesn't know who that is. Why does Michael Myers care? He's the shape. Doesn't matter. But it's going to end on a personal note. Or rather, I think this one ends on a personal note, which makes the entirety of Halloween Ends a much more personal confrontation. We don't know why. There's tons of conjecture out there. Of course there is. But that's all it is, conjecture. They haven't made Halloween Ends yet. They haven't done it. So, who knows what it's going to be? Oh, will Laurie lose her daughter and her granddaughter? Will she just lose the granddaughter? Will she just lose the daughter? Will Laurie die herself? And then it's the granddaughter and the mother who's got to go off. Who cares? Who cares? Wait till it comes out. We haven't got a fucking clue until then. So just can it, folks. Can it. But they're talking about what comes beyond all this. Now let's just think for 1 second that maybe this trilogy does end. The Blumhouse and David Gordon Green, I hate saying that name, David Gordon Green. There's so many people on YouTube who just say that name over and over again. It becomes like a mantra. You're like, oh God, yeah. The guy making this, I don't think, once this third movie's out the way, that's it. They might have an investment in an ongoing franchise with a Halloween, IP, but story-wise, I don't think they'll be involved in it. Or maybe they might oversee it, I don't know. But where do you go? People are saying, oh, they might do another prequel. Well, we've had that, a prequel. We've had Rob Zombie's take on it. And love it all though that he gave a definitive sort of take on the upbringing of a Michael Myers, how to create a serial killer monstrosity that is Michael Myers from a tragic, terrible, abusive upbringing. That way. What else are you going to do there? How are you going to retell that story? Are you going to go purely supernatural? And he was like in the original novelization, which is tremendous, and that opening prologue is set 2,000 years ago on the festival of Samhain, and the druids have to destroy the Michael Myers entity because he's already killed a woman that he loved and her betrothed in a fit of rage. So that the villagers all take him up, rip him to shreds, and curse him to relive his crime throughout forever, having every affliction known to man visited upon him, which is perfect. You think about that. That means his body can take anything, and he's still got to relive a stabbing crime over and over again, relentlessly. A bit nasty of the druids to do that, because what they've done is just cause relentless pain and suffering throughout the ages on other innocent people. So what were they thinking then? And obviously if that body gets completely consumed by fire, say, it'll be reborn, the spirit will go on into another body. And that is the idea, that was the idea behind that novelization. And if you take that into the Michael Myers mythos, it really, really works, So unless you did something like that, what would be the point? And then what's the point anyway? Look, stalk and slash, killers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, all of these characters, you can tell the stories only for a limited time without getting massively repetitive and then regurgitating the same thing over and over again. Like Hammer with their Frankenstein sagas, which at least had different kind of scenarios, but it's the same story over and over again, and especially their Dracula stories, which was just the same thing. So you've already had that, but with Michael Myers, there's such a limited scope for what he can do. What's going to happen to him? He's not going to suddenly come back to life and then a shady government organisation is going to go like, Michael, we don't like what you do, but you do it really well. We need you. We're going to employ you for a special October 31st mission. You're going to the Kremlin. Actually, it's not a bad idea. Recruiting Michael Myers to take on some foreign enemy. You could lay waste to armies. Mr. Green, as in David Gordon, are you listening? Mr. Carpenter, as in Big John Carpenter, creator of Michael Myers, are you listening? I might work with this. It's got legs. Now, what are you going to do with it? It's very, very limited in scope. Now, I love the slasher genre, but I also know its limitations. And over the years, and I've got a lot of years on many of you people, I've seen them all from the beginning, and I've seen them through different serials and franchises and reboots and prequels and sequels, and I've got sick of them. You do get sick of them. It's just, you will suffer just complete implosion with these things. You'll be flooded with it. So I think this particular trilogy has got a couple of things going for it. A big success, and it brought in a new audience. It brought in a fan base that was already there, who accepted it, and I'm one of them as well. Rightly or wrongly, I think it made a lot of mistakes, but I'm looking forward to it, so I'm not denying that. In fact, I'm way looking forward to it. But big success, and then the big delay for Halloween Kills, that's only built more suspense and anticipation to work in its favour in many ways. Okay, financially and production timeline wise, it's a nightmare. It's got to be, because so many other films have been slated and for release or production and are now on the back burner, so it's slowing the whole process down. We know that, but this is coming out regardless this year, and we know it's going to be a big success. It is. I can foretell that quite easily. Big success. It promises big, and apparently it does deliver. So you've got that, and then after that you're going to have the payoff, the finale. Everyone's going to be there for that. Of course they are. And hopefully it will be tremendous within the scope of this particular story. Then, providing cinemas are open and the films are coming out, so that we do get Halloween Kills this year and we do get Halloween Ends next year, will that glut then be enough to satisfy the fans, or are they going to be clamouring for more? Well, if these films are big successes, which they will be, then they will want, the producers will want, the studios will want more. Will they go down like a TV show route, Stars, HBO, something like that? They could do. Don't forget, Halloween initially was meant to be, if it was going to be a success and a franchise, the idea was that from John Carpenter and Deborah Hill and all the others, Mustafa Akkad, producers, that it was going to be a series of movies all set around Halloween. Not the same Michael Myers, not that. You'd had that, but each new successive entry was going to be a different story, focusing on some part of Halloween, set around Halloween, or having something to do with October 31st. And that was great. That's where you got Halloween 3. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which is great, and I've covered it at length as well. That is the kind of thing that John Carpenter always wanted to get off the ground. So you'd have the Stalker Slash version, then you had the sci-fi, robotic, world takeover, druidic, occult version. And then you'd have, I don't know, a satanic scarecrow on Halloween, or a shark invading somewhere on Halloween. I don't know. You could have, but lots of different ideas were being juggled at the time. But no, money talks, and producers like to stick, well, that's a winning idea. We've made money on that, let's just do it again. Let's just make it bigger and bloodier. Which I don't mind, but the thing is that it's going to run out. It's going to go beyond its sell-by date for many people. And you've seen it, especially with Halloween, which has the most crushing number of dreadful sequels. So that you've got to see it from that point of view as well. No matter how good, no matter how grounded, no matter how well produced this trilogy may well be in many ways, it's going to run its term. It's got to end. Halloween Ends. The clue's in the title, folks. But Michael Myers will always live on. So in a few years' time afterwards, of course it could be rebooted, but you're going to have to give it a bit of a break. But as I said before, unless you're going to do the same thing but for a new audience, it's going to have nothing new at all. What can Michael Myers do? And don't have him meeting Jason. Don't have him meeting Ash from the Evil Dead. Don't do that. They're gimmicks. That's just a pure gimmick. They may get asses on seats to watch that initially, but they're not. How can they possibly be any good from a thematic and narrative point of view? They just can't. They're ridiculous. Shoehorning things in like that is just a complete token gesture and just pure showmanship and trying to make money. That's all it is. There's no real creativity behind that sort of endeavour, and I despise it really. says the guy that loves all the old Universal monster mashes. But I do. But because they've been done, and then it was fresh, then it was new. And it's always great to look back on those. They ran their time. And that's why that sort of thing doesn't really work now, because it's all been done. So, what could you do with Michael Myers then? Let me know. Have you got some ideas for him? And please, I want an end to Laurie Strode. Oh God. Oh my God. Jamie Lee Curtis, outstanding in Halloween, outstanding in Trading Places, outstanding in a few things. A Fish Called Wanda, she's magnificent. But Laurie Strode has become one of the most tedious, boring victims, survivor, final girl, heroines ever. What I do or did like about Halloween and the slasher franchise, and this is an important point, for all the allegations of misogyny and violence against women that is always liberally lashed at these movies, and rightly so I might add, they have an inbuilt antidote for it, which is very clever when you think about it, but they didn't think of it at the time, but it does work in their favour. Who's always the survivor? Who's always the one that defeats the villain, the bogeyman at the end? It's the girl, hence the final girl cliche that we have now. So, it's violence against women. You look at these movies, any fella that gets involved, he's dispatched instantly. He can do no good, but that final girl always has the ingenuity, the prowess, the athleticism, the creativity, the time to fight back, build up traps, and to build her confidence and take down the bad guy. Although he'll come back for the next movie, and maybe kill her in the first few scenes, because that's happened a lot as well. So it's got that sort of thing. But Laurie Strode, I've got so sick of the whole concept of Laurie Strode. Michael Myers in the first one, he's not asked about Laurie. He's not gone after her. They give him that reason in the second movie, Halloween 2, from 1981, which I love. And I've always said they could easily have kept that in the timeline and made it even more of a phenomenal monster. And the reason why you would have major PTSD, because he killed that many more people, other than just a handful on Halloween night. In this day and age, you get so many people killed in a park just by some random guy running in with a knife. It's happened only recently. So we're not going to be so shocked as like, what this man did. Oh God, it's shocking. It's just, you're not going to feel it now. It doesn't work with today's audiences. Says me, the film was a massive success with this storyline. But if you kept that timeline in, and we don't want him being a brother. No, nobody wanted that. That was just stupid. John Carpenter didn't want that. It was a ridiculous idea, and he did it to just kill the fucking franchise off. So he wanted no more to do with Michael Myers. Sorry, John. The world had other ideas. But you actually, in Halloween 2018, they do address that. The granddaughter, is it Karen? No, it's Alison, is walking with the her two mates. I heard it was her brother. Oh no, that was just something the press cooked up. Exactly. You could have kept that movie in it and said that, the whole thing was a con. Laurie's memories are a bit twisted. Yeah, she blew up the hospital at the end, but he got out, and she'd be like, I saw him on fire. And you didn't. He got out. We never found that body. That's all you need to do. That's it. He's back. He's out. Or rather, they did find him, but down the corridor and put him in the asylum. And then he breaks out 40 odd years later. Well, yeah. You know the story. So you could have done it that way and kept all that in and made that initial 1978 Halloween night a really, really big event that Haddonfield would never forget, and certainly Laurie Strode, because he came after her again. He ended up at the hospital and came after her again. You've got that link then. You've got that thing. God, shape's thinking, she survived twice, and he sees it again, on his next rampage 40 years later. Yeah, I am definitely coming for you. It just anchors it a bit more. But the fact that, is she going to be the one that's going to dispatch him at the end? Will she sacrifice herself? This is all the conjecture that's out there, and I do not want to be doing what everyone else is doing. I would like it just to rock the boat that maybe she doesn't die, but she's cowering in fear. Michael's coming for her one final time, and a bloke, let's say Charles Cyphers as Sheriff Lee Brackett from the first movie, who we know is in Halloween Kills, maybe he's in Halloween Ends as well, and his daughter is killed. Annie is killed in Halloween, the first one. So he's got a personal grievance as well, as is the entire fucking town, you know. But why not have someone else kill him? Well, there'll be a novelty, because everyone's expecting it's going to be a confrontation between Laurie and Michael throughout this movie and then the end movie. It's just mono a womano, psycho a womano, and that's how it's going to be. Maybe it is, or maybe they are going to do something different, and I hope they do, because we've seen that confrontation too many times now. And I don't think, no matter what you do, oh, they kill each other, not going to be a shock. We've thought of all the possible outcomes of this. Everybody has. But why not have someone else step in and do it? So Michael has to battle somebody else and just deviate from that obvious trajectory that we kind of know it's going to go on, and have someone else be the one that takes him out. Someone else, a man that keeps on coming back and surviving and like takes him down. Let's have that. That would rock the whole thing completely, because it's always been the same way. A woman at the end surviving. I don't know. As I say, John Carpenter just turned 73. His creativity knows no bounds. Then we have Lost Themes Volume 3 coming out in only a matter of weeks now. Can't wait for that. He released a track, Skeleton, from it last year sometime. I played it. Or I think I played it. I think I did anyway. I know YouTube can be funny sometimes. They've let me play certain things and they've not let me play other things, but it's kind of like a lottery. So, cheers you all. So let me know what you think, because obviously a lot of us are heavily into the Halloween movies, and despite how I may sound pouring scorn, I'm not really. I've got so much heart invested in this character and this story that there's certain things I want to see and there's certain things I don't want to see. We've all got that in us. What I don't like is just going along. I mean, a lot of fans are like that. They'll take anything that's given to them, just sit there with the popcorn, their Coke, or the whatever, you know, and their phones, and like they think they're fans, but they'll take whatever is dished out to them, and then they'll go, and they'll love it, and you know, yeah, that's what's making money for the movie. But then you've got people that really do care and look into the production and look into the history and look into everything that's gone on with it, and have invested time and in many cases a lot of money as well, with merchandise, collectibles, and all that kind of thing. I'm not saying that they owe us something. They've got the rights, literally, to do whatever they want. But they should listen to what people, the die-hard fans, really want. Well, this is one die-hard fan speaking, but quite clearly there's a lot of people who are thinking, just in that box, they're keeping the whole Laurie, Michael Myers confrontation together. They can't think of it, of Halloween, a Michael Myers movie, in any other way. Well, of course you can. Why has Michael got to just pursue that person and kill anyone that gets in the way? He could go anywhere. But that isn't what's going to happen. It's going to be a Haddonfield massacre. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I really hope that we all get something out of these movies and we really enjoy them. End of the day, you want something that is suspenseful, something that is thrilling. It's got scares, it's got creepiness, it's got Michael doing what he does best, stalking and slashing. And we know we're going to get a big body count as well. Certainly in this next one, maybe lesser in the finale. And we're going to get John Carpenter's music as well, because John Carpenter has done the score for Halloween Kills and he's doing it for Halloween Ends. So, hey, there's a lot more stacked in its favour. And no more stupid Dr. Sartain twists. Don't do anything like that. And don't have Laurie suddenly putting on the mask at the end and killing her daughter or whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just think, do something slightly different. Do play with the format, because you've got the power to do so. And let's see what they come up with anyway. But this was just really, I've seen so many people doing this, and I've got people asking me, because it's suddenly back in vogue at the moment, because hopefully cinemas will be open again in that time. Hopefully. Yeah. Let's not put money on it just yet. But we'll see the film this year. So people are looking ahead, and that's good. That's optimism. People are looking forward to it, so that's great. We're looking for something later in the year. Brilliant. Don't get me started on James Bond, because I think that No Time to Die, that's been a far more tragic story in movie making terms than the Halloween kills. So I feel a bit crushed when it comes to Bond. It feels very, very sad, and as if that, it's too late, time's run out. I hate saying that, but that's the way I feel about it. Hopefully I'll get back on board again, but I think it's gone on too long, with too many goalposts getting moved, and where do we go with it? And the threat of it, this whole delay, sinking Eon and even MGM. So there's a horrible sort of feel and taste and vibe to that movie now. Anyway, folks, let me know what you think, because come hell or high water, these films are coming and we are interested in them. So let me know what you think. Should Michael Myers end with Halloween Ends? Should that be it for the entire franchise? Should it live on? If so, how should it live on? Do we like Laurie Strode? I should put like a poll up, shouldn't I? A poll, as some people would say. And should she live? Should she die? Do we care? Do we even want to see it ever again? Jamie Lee Curtis. Who wants? Folks, have been, always shall be, Kilt-Man. So please do take it easy. Keep it kilted, keep it Celtic. Or watch out for the boogeyman, because he's out there. And no matter what studios do, no matter what fans do, no matter what pandemics do, they always come back again, don't they? Because they are supernatural. I'm going to see you all. Haters! I shot him 6 times.